Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming, and I want to thank our hosts here today. And I'm honored to be joined today by Suffolk County's great county executive Steve Bellone, a tireless advocate for the working men and women of Suffolk County. We have stood together on issues from Sandy relief to federal quotas on fluke fishing to keeping guns out of the hands of criminals and other people who shouldn't have them. And I am proud to be here with him today. I'm also joined by Kim Irons, who's the Assistant Attorney General in charge of my regional office here in Hauppauge, and who's meeting a lot of folks and seeing a lot of folks she knows here today. We are our regional offices are our eyes and ears all around the state, and we urge everyone to reach out to them if you have any issues. And finally, I'm here with Don Fiore, one of the founders and organizers of this gun show, and I want to thank Don and his partners, Frank and Carl, for welcoming us here today, showing us around, and for implementing the best procedures for gun shows in the United States, which are our New York model procedures. This is an event where law-abiding citizens can exercise their rights. We want to make sure everyone can legally buy and sell firearms in a safe environment while taking common sense steps to make sure that guns do not get into the hands of people who shouldn't have guns. Now, these guys are setting a great example for the state, and it goes beyond just implementing the rules. As we're going to discuss, they actually were a part of writing the rules, which is why this has been so successful. They're doing their part. They're making New York a safer state for gun owners, non-gun owners alike, and I commend them for their commitment to public safety. Thank you for making this happen. When we started out in end of 2012, we started talking to some gun show operators because we realized that there had been a law since 2000 requiring background checks at gun shows that really wasn't being enforced. And the federally licensed dealers, the folks with gun stores, were doing it, but some others were not. So we sat down. It was led by Deborah Martin from my Rochester office. My people sat down with our hosts here today and others, and together we came up with the best system for keeping gun shows safe in the United States. As the guns come in, they're tagged, and they have a system of tags that identify the owner and identify the gun. And quite simply, if you try and get out of this show with a gun you didn't bring in, you can't get out without showing you had a background check. And they have a special tag that indicates that you had a NICS check. So this is simple. It's not hard to do. It saves lives. It makes us safer. And look, our nation has been plagued by too many horrific killings in recent years. We know that something like 100,000 people a year get shot in America, and the key to this is not to engage in a lot of divisive rhetoric. The key to this is bringing together the responsible gun owners, the law-abiding citizens who just want to work with me as a law enforcement officer, with their government officials, to make this safer in a way that does not prevent anyone from being able to acquire a lawful firearm and doesn't put a burden on the operators, on the purchasers, or on the sellers. These folks in this room are good New Yorkers who want to keep our state safe. These are parents, grandparents. No one wants guns to get in the hands of criminals, people with serious mental health problems, people who have restraining orders out on them, or any of the other categories that will cause you to flunk a background check. So I am proud to be here, particularly because New York is showing national leadership on this issue. Washington couldn't get anything done about background checks. And I've just explained to you how simple it is to get something done and how willing to work with us the gun show operators are. In New York, we had a different way. We worked together on this. We worked together on other things. I'm proud to travel around the state and visit with good folks running good gun shows. And, ironically, this has made me a big advocate for New York gun shows. People say to me, we think we should shut down gun shows. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We want everyone to buy at a gun show because then we know you're getting a background check. So thank you very much. Congratulations to you and your partners. And with that, let me bring up one of my great colleagues in government, truly works every day, 24/7 for the people of Suffolk County, Steve Bellone.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Thank you, Attorney General Schneiderman. It is an honor to have him here. He has been doing a fantastic job as our Attorney General in the state, and he talked about some of the things we've worked together on that doesn't even scratch the surface of some of the things that he's been doing. And we're proud to work with him. And I think this is a terrific example of not only his leadership, but what government is supposed to be doing. It is so easy to fight with one another, demonize different groups. But what you should be doing is what the Attorney General has done here, and that is reach out, bring people together, build bridges, discuss issues, and what you find is you have common ground. That we are not people who have different there are some differences of opinion, but by and large we want and share the same values. We want people to be safe. We want the public to be safe, and we want to be able to respect people's rights, particularly their constitutional rights. And that's what the Attorney General has done here. When I came in, I want to thank Don for really taking a leadership role, working with the Attorney General to make this happen. This is groundbreaking. The Attorney General mentioned it, but look, this is what they can't do in Washington. What they can't do in Washington, he has figured out, Attorney General Schneiderman, working with gun show operators, how to make something work. And it starts with coming together and talking and working with each other. And I came in, I talked to one of the vendors. I said, what do I have to do to buy a gun here? And he said, well, where's your pistol license? I said, I left it in the car. He said, well, you got to go get it because you can't buy it here. These procedures that the Attorney General has set up are, with these gun show operators like Don, are as good as it gets in terms of protecting the public, making sure people who can't pass a background check can't purchase a gun, and also protecting and respecting the constitutional rights of our citizens. And I think it's a terrific job, and I want to thank the Attorney General.
Thank you,
Great
Steve.
job.
Great ally in government on all issues. And now let me introduce to you our host today, who is a former detective, who understands this from the law enforcement point of view as well as from the gun show operator point of view. Please welcome Don up here. He has been a total gentleman throughout this process. And again, he was one of the people that helped craft these rules. So this is a project that we did together. And I thank you for your work, and I thank you for running such a good show.
Also a Marine.
Yes. Marine theft. Hi, how are you? My name is Don Fiore, and the story goes exactly the way the Attorney General stated. About 2 years ago, Deborah Martin gave me a phone call, which I wasn't happy to receive.
She was from my Rochester office.
And we started discussing background checks, and we went over a bunch of scenarios. And I thought I had all of the loopholes closed, and Deborah came up with a situation that I couldn't answer. So I told her I'd have to think about that. I really don't have an answer for that. So what I did was I went back to my partners, and the three of us, we sat down, we figured out how we can close that loophole. We closed it, or at least I feel we closed it. And it seems like everybody else is happy with what we're doing. So that's our system. That's how we run our show. We have our tagging system, and we have our NICS check system. And it's two systems that work together, and we keep no one can leave our show without a tag on it or a NICS check. And to us, it's very simple, it's easy, and we have no problems with it. And I thank you for coming down and telling me that I'm doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And look, this is one important fact. After Frank and a few other operators worked with the folks in my office to develop these procedures, this is very important to note. Every other major gun show operator and a lot of smaller gun show operators in the entire state of New York signed on voluntarily to these procedures. This is the gun show operators stepping up. This is the gun dealers in New York State stepping up and saying, we are volunteering to make this a safer state. These are our allies in the fight for gun safety and the fight against illegal guns. And I'm very proud that we are doing this together and continuing the dialogue to make it a safer state where people can exercise their rights and we keep guns out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them. Okay? Thank you.